Good evening, everyone. I think we need to have a theme tune, as I didn't realise that you can hear my really heavy breathing as it's doing it. Good evening, Nicola. Good evening, Carol. Our lovely Miss Bignall, who's done some of these beautiful samples you're looking at, as have our wonderful Nicola, as has our fantastic Leslie. And we've had a guest this month. Starting next year, so starting in January, we will be having some guest angels. So we'll be looking for people to guest. So I'll send them out something and they will actually then be able to make some samples specially for us. So you're currently looking at Nicola's and we're just about to come up with our guest. So our guest this month is Samantha Hughes, and Samantha Hughes has made some samples. They're coming up in a second. It's the final 3 on the reel. Absolutely beautiful. So we will be doing that more next year. So there's one of our Samanthas. There's another one of our beautiful Samanthas. And there's the final one of our Samanthas. Aren't they absolutely beautiful? Hello, good evening. Welcome to the live launch of what I'm going to say. Oh, thank you. Carol Byers has just said, I think this is going to be a very popular collection. I'm fingers crossed, and I really hope so, Carol, because this is the first launch of what I will class as the Caver's Request. This is a collection that I drew at your request, because all of the wonderful people on Facebook, all of my wonderful friends, I personally hate the phrase followers. I don't get that. All my friends, all the cavers, people who come in the craft cave, I got to play with a couple of little dies from Marianne really earlier in the year on the sales show, and they were just like little bits, but there wasn't enough in their full collection, and everyone said they absolutely loved it. So I thought, right, I will design my own collection. So we started a couple of weeks ago with the big insert square die. And I've had a couple of questions of that, so I will. That is on the website. So on the link, I'm not sure if there's any stock left. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not sure if there's any stock left. But that was the first bit. So that was the first bit of our new insert collection. And there are more inserts planned for next year. And then we did the Christmas, but then this was the big thing. This is what I really wanted to do. In fact, I'm going to move to the overhead. I know it's early, but I wanted to move to this. These are the beautiful, and I've split them into 4 separate pieces for you, but you can get the whole collection. And remember, this is an exclusive. Now, I had a look before we came to air, and I don't say this often, and I don't say this to worry anyone. 2/3 of this, 2/3 of the bundle have already sold. So we have sold 2/3 of the bundle of this has already sort of flown. So what I'm suggesting to anybody is, if you're thinking about getting the whole bundle, the whole select suggestion, then get yourself onto the website now and get that ordered, because it is a stunning. I mean, I'm going to say this. I'm really proud of this. Sorry. I'm going to witter. I know I am. So I'm giving everyone chance and opportunity. So if you want all 4 of them, the price is £32.36. I'm going to take you through all of them individually. I'm going to take you through the dies that are actually on the plate so that you can see them. I'm going to take you through the samples. I've just got to show you this one first by our Carol. That, to me, is what I imagined in my head when I was designing this set. But look at that. Safety pins. Finally got the word. Couldn't remember it. Safety pins. There. Dies that cut you out. Safety pins that look real but are completely flat. Pins that you can actually put thread into. Sewing machine. Proper sized mannequins that are not too big so they don't dominate everything. I love the sewing. I want to do more of that font like that and words. You know, swatches, pieces, cotton reels, but useful ones. Everything's in there. So I'm going to take you through them all. But if you are looking for the full collection is £32.36 and you're going to save 10%. And of course, remember, these are exclusive. So this is in our new special packaging that's been designed specifically. Oh, thank you. I should say a few hellos to people on YouTube as well, because I haven't. So hello to Jill, Mary, the lovely Emma Woods, Who else have we got here? Dave and Jenny, Marilyn Squire, Deborah Smith, Crafty Whippet. What a nice name. Prisha, lovely. Oh, Prisha's ordered. Thank you, Prisha. Thank you if you have placed your order. We really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to take you through this one first. So one question I wanted to answer, because people had asked this. Somebody messaged me earlier, and I'll be honest, I was actually sat watching Jamie Oliver Food TV. Why has your packaging not got the pocket any so we can keep the dies in it? Right. The reason is because doing this packaging like this allows us to make it different from the full John Next Door package, so that you can tell that they are specially designed insert dies. The other reason is we wanted you to be able to physically see the dies and see all of them. And if we do them as drawings on the front, and you can see all of them as drawings on the front, that's one of the ways that we get ripped off. It's one of the ways we get copied. So making the dies physically visible for you on the front is the best way to do it. The other reason is this packaging is slightly cheaper than the envelope. So it also means that what you can actually do is it allows us to keep the price down. So with all the sort of way that all the exchange rate and everything's changing, everything's getting so expensive. I know tariffs don't affect us, but it's affecting China, which is affecting us. So the idea of this was there's an area drawn on all of this packaging so that you can stick a magnetic sheet onto it and put these onto the magnet. So that was the whole idea of the packaging. So it was intentional. So this is your first set, which you can get on its own. And this is just $9.99. We'll get the right graphic up. But there is a difference. So the large square that's in the original insert square is effectively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 by 5.5. Yeah. And then the squares fit in between that. The swatch square is a perfect 4 by 4. So you have a 4 by 4 square in there. You have a 1.5 by 1.5. You have a 1.25 by 1 3/4. And you have an inch square in that one. But you've also got so much more in this die set on this one on its own. So, and I'm going to demo and show you lots to do, and I've got a special demonstration prepped ready for I think it's Sarah who's been asking, can't remember if it isn't. We're going to be on Wednesday night on Craft Cave Live, we're going to be using these. Samantha Hughes just said she had so much fun using these dies. Samantha Hughes was our guest this month using these. We're going to be using one of the square scrapbooks because these are perfect for it. Look. It's almost as if they were designed to fit. So that's what we're going to be using on Wednesday. So if you've got one of these, get it out. We might be able to craft along. That's on Craft Cave Live I'm going to be showing you. But you've then in here, you've got all of the things. So you've got the actual tag here, which allows you to create almost a whole. I'm trying to find the... I've got samples made of everything, and then I've lost them. There we go. So the idea was you can make and use this for your ribbon or for your thread and keep it in place. Moira, hi John, can I ask why you never seem to give me a mention shout out when you give everyone else a mention? Moira, it's as I read them. It's not intentional, Moira. It's as they pop up. So, yeah, it's I read people out as they pop up at the beginning. So, hello, Maureen. I'll give you a proper wave. Hello, Maureen. Hello to everyone else that I don't mention. I try not to say hello all the time because it's ruining. It spoils it. But yeah, you're not picked out, but now you have been. So that's your little tag there. You've got your 3 sizes of cotton reel. I don't know what that one's doing on there. That's from the other set. But you've got these now. These are, I think, clever. Yeah. Maureen, don't want to shock anyone, but we've put our Christmas decorations up today. These are, I'm going to say clever, but I love this idea. And where is it? Oh, it's here. The idea is for these that you can create your own cards to hold your embroidery thread. If you are anything like me, I am a mess with it. And I've got loads of it because I love it and I love the colours. So this is normally how I keep my sort of embroidery thread, and it is a mess. It's all a mess. That's not how it should be kept. What we do is when they supply it to you, they supply it on cards. So the idea is you can actually use that to keep all of that safe, cut into your threads, or the tall one, you can do it, look. You know, that could be used for a card or a colour swatch, but that would just be beautiful on a card as it stands. But that's just using that there. The other idea of that is you can put book rings through that and use that to actually make yourself pages. So that will actually fit into there. So you can make yourself pages and you can put book rings in them. Again, the idea is to be very, very flexible. So, sorry guys, I know I'm wittering, but it's because I really like this one. I'm so sad with it. So this is our first one, which is our swatches, which is £9.99. Your second set is your mannequin. And that is, I've got to say, my favourite. I love this. Ever since I bought... Sarah Jane, yes, it was you. Yes, so Sarah Jane, we will be doing those in one of the scrapbook albums. I'm showing you how to put that together on Wednesday night in Craft Cave, just especially for you, because I wanted to make it, because I remembered. So this is the set out. So basically, you're going to get the mannequins, and ever since I saw the original Tim Holtz mannequin, very shabby, a few years ago, I've wanted to do one. I've wanted to do my own, and so I've done two. So you've got a solid, and you've got sort of like the framework one, but they aren't the same size. They're not designed to be. They're designed to be two separate pieces. The sewing, the scissors, and the sewing machine in that. So again, you're getting an A5's worth of metal. Nicola's just said, I love the details in this collection. There's so much detail. I wanted to do so much drawing in this, and I really have. That's why it's taken so long to do. So that's your second set at £7.99, at £9.99 again. Then we've got our third set, and I get the graphic right, which is, I love the name of this. This is Pins and Things, because I wanted you to give an option so that you didn't have to buy the full collection if you didn't want to. So this has got, see, originally, the name that goes on here is what I come up with originally. By the time I come to writing, sort of doing the packaging, I get the posh names. So this one is called Pins and Things. So you've got a pin cushion in there. You've got scissors. You've got pearl-headed pins. You've got needles. You've got smaller needles. You've got safety pins. You've got 4 buttons, and you've got 2 sizes of thimble as well. So again, a really cute collection of things. And again, a smaller pair of scissors. Just love those. No, I've not shown the press cut dies. I'm showing that next. So that's our needles and pins, or Pins and Things as we called it. Our last one in this collection is the crochet and knitting. And I had to do this for our Elaine because she's a massive crocheter. And I was saying to her earlier, the actual drawing of the crochet hooks took ages to get them right. Yeah. Our Samantha said that she loved that she could thread the needles. That was the whole point. So here you've got your different sizes of balls of wool, and one which has the tail of wool running off. That would be great if you've got my little dies. I had the little cats on that were in the topiary. That would work so well with those. You've got your crochet hooks, 2 sizes. You've got crossed knitting needles, solid sort of knitting needles, and then skeins of wool. And again, they've got all the lines on them. So if you watch the video, it shows you how you can ink those and get that beautiful impression. In fact, I'll probably not. Here we go. Yeah. But you can see here how you can ink them to get the wool lines on there. Just works so well. So that's the last one in that collection of the dies, which is knit and crochet. So you can get knit and crochet, Pins and Things, haberdashery sewing, and haberdashery swatches, all 4 of them for just 32, 36. So you're saving 10%. Yeah. Debbie says the knitting, you wait till you see the samples of the knitting cards. Our Carol, bless her, has done some tiny little knitting to go on hers, but works so well with baby cards and newborn cards and things, because we don't need to buy special dies to do them. We do them special. We can use these all the way around. So that's the 4 bundle. We've also put on tonight a special offer, which is the press cut postage squares, which is a fantastic die set. One of my absolute favourites that matches with this. So if you missed out on the squares, you can get away. This one will work just as well. Just to show you, I'm going to be using this in my first demo. But look how beautifully it works, because they're all drawn by me, so they all work together. So everything's sized to work. So this is just $9.99. So if you're wanting to get a die to work with the inserts, that panel will work with your snowflakes as well from your Christmas. Your snow will fit in there. Your joy will fit in mini one. So you can get the postage squares as well. So really amazing value. But what I think I need to do now is to show you some of the samples, because the samples are amazing. If you watch the video, there are more samples on the video than I'm showing you physically, because somewhere in this marvellous craft cave of mine, there is a missing box of Nicola's samples, and I have searched for 3 days solid and cannot find it anywhere. But hopefully they will turn up. But we have, thankfully, thanks to Nicola, got pictures. But here, that is exactly what I imagined in my head. You know, Carol's used bits of old patterns on here, little bits cut out of paper. You know, she's made a background beautiful. Here's one that I've done as a video card today. So this has gone out today. So using some ribbon, make it into stamps. I'm going to do that tonight. All the piece on. But look, the fact that you can thread the needles, a die that's a needle that you can physically thread, I thought was just clever. John lost my samples. Yes, I did. They're somewhere, Nicola. Thank gosh you photographed them. This is one of my favourites. Again, another video card. But it shows it works beautifully with that stamp. And remember, a lot of these things I'm using, like this stamp. So this stamp is available. I'm just going to check Facebook, because I've not connected it up. Oh, there's a lot more on. Oh, there's a lot more on than was on earlier when I was checking it all. So the square insert die is available. I didn't realise that. So the postage die. We're out of stock of the mixed media knitting stencil, a cross stitch stencil, but we've got that stamp, and we've got the buttons, and they're on offer at $4.99. I didn't realise that we've got so much more on there. So I will take you through that in a minute. But here, look, this is new. So these are new for either later this year in December or January. Carol, how can you lose a box of samples, John? I thought my room was bad, but never lost a box. I have no idea, Carol. I have no idea. I have been through every box and everything. I've even turfed out yesterday in the freezing cold. I turfed out Sally the Sample Shed. I went through all of that in the freezing cold yesterday morning at 7 a.m. Couldn't find it. But this, making a dress, one of our Leslie's. But all the samples, the swatches, look, making a little drawer by cutting card across it. The scissors, the needles, a shaker card of buttons. That says just a note. That to me would be really fab for congratulations for a newborn baby. Michael, no, the press cut frame is not new tonight. Look at this one again in those beautiful... Leslie's just used some lace and made a wedding dress on the mannequin, on the form, but all the layers are cut out using the dies. Look at the sewing machine. It's just a perfect Singer one. How about your car? I have gone through the car, but I didn't go through the boot. I never thought of that, Leslie. That's a good idea. Another one here, like an evening dress. I mean, how clever are these? Different patterns and colours with that sewing across it. This, I thought, was so clever. Black and red. and white. Really modern. Think about someone's 21st birthday. This one, Nicola just said she fell in love with this one. This one, I could see this being someone's 18th, 21st. It really working. This one with the wool, how good does the wool look with the scissors and the knitting needles and the buttons? Another one again, happy birthday this time, again with more balls of the wool. This one using that beautiful knitting stencil at the back, love that. And my original, this is the first card I made when this set arrived, using the canvas card in blues, but this is the very first full set I made. So that's one set. There are so many of these, there really are. I've got another load here that I'll take you through in a couple of minutes because I will do some demoing. But look at this from our Carol. How clever has Carol been? Which way up does this go? That way. She's done some actual knitting and put it onto the knitting needles. So she's physically knitted with wool. How clever is that? This I thought was so beautiful. Really clean and simple. Get that out frame mannequin and then have the little scissors and the pins and the safety pins and the sewing machine as if it's a desk. Again, so many people loved that one. Again, absolutely gorgeous. I'll show another one here. Look, our Carol's crocheted this time. A little square and a little butterfly. So have a look through the video. Look at that. I could keep showing these. Using that little cut line to thread ribbon through. What a clever idea. Using a little bit of waste for a belt. I love these. These are so clever. They girls have done such a wonderful, wonderful job. And I say my favourite, that one, just keeps going in my head. So I thought I really should demo something. So where are we? There we go. I'm going to start. I have prepped things, I promise. Oh, Crafty Whippet. I love that, Ruth. Thank you. So what we're going to do is I've got here a piece cut to 5 by 7. Who's that said that one? Susan Mickelbatch. Looking forward to using these for my niece's seamstress and wedding dress. Oh, is that what she does? What a wonderful career. I think it's what I wanted to do when I went to art college. I wanted to do fashion or costume. So what I'm going to do is I'm using that press cut die, that beautiful postage squares for this. And this has so many pieces in it. So these will work as extra swatches because they've almost got that stitch round there. But I'm just going to use the simple die. I'm going to pop it down and cut that. And that will give me all of the detail I need in one simple pass. Now, I've already cut this to save some time. But look, love that look. So there I've got all of the pieces cut and all of the bits ready for the inserts in one piece. So I want a backer for this. So I'm going to use a backer. And what I've done here is I've taken the die and I've taken some funky foam. Now, this is one of the things techniques. I did this. I came up with this 12 years ago when I first did Create and Craft. And I've seen hundreds of people do it since. And I'm sure someone had done it before because it's never right to claim something. But I can even remember when I came up with this. I was in the range and I saw they'd got some stamps that were made with foam. And I thought, surely I could get dies to cut foam and make my own. And when you've got beautiful figurative dies like the insert dies, why would you want to do stamps to match when you can make your own? So a piece of funky foam. I'm lucky enough to have white because I've got a pack of all colours, but it doesn't matter what colour it is. And all I'm doing, I've run it through and cut it out. And this is 3mm funky foam or EVA foam, depending on where you get it from. The technical name is EVA. So now I'm using that haberdashery set. So again, you can get this set on its own if you want to. If you want just this one at £9.99. But remember, the bundle is the better value. And the bundle, we came to where I think, if I've got my figures right, because I can never claim to be right, with 2/3 of it gone. So all you do, and I can use this, if you watch the video, I go into more detail on this one. So all you do is spray glue that, or use your glue glaze, or a good way to glue this down is to actually use a Pritt stick. Is really good for gluing funky foam down to make a stamp. Yeah, so I've just glued it, I've used spray glue, onto a block, and then I'm going to grab grey, because I don't want it too strong. So I'm going to grab grey VersaFine, and I'm just going to stamp my image. And there, to me, now, that looks like something from the 1950s. I really think it does. Yeah, and the dies are really well designed, so they will really cut through your funky foam extremely well, even that high level of detail. So I've got here, I've done from the pins and things, so let's go to the full bundle. I've made one here of the oh, I can't think of what the word to call it is, pin cushion. But can you imagine? I mean, let's take, what you can do is take the sewing machine. So all of these have been designed to do this detail. So all of these are designed to do this detail. So all I'm doing is running it through in a normal sandwich on my Kaleido. Nice and simple. There we go. We'll take the pieces out. Funky foam cuts beautifully with good dies. It really does. So we'll grab out a block. I'm going to use a little bit of spray glue again, just for speed. So let's put that onto our block. So that's how easy it is to turn any of these into stamps. Debbie, does the Art of Craft sell funky foam? And Michael Cooley's asked the same question. They might do. I genuinely don't know. If not, try the pound shops, B&M, Hobbycraft, that sort of place. So let's go here. There we go, look. How perfect is that? Oh, I love that. It's actually pressed all of the detail in. So I've got... I'm just making a little bit of a background, really. Love that, with my stamps. Then I'm going to take the knitting stamp. So this... Oh, Leslie is demoing these on Saturday. So on Saturday, if you're not coming to my Zoom class and you are going to the Motorcycle Museum, please pop in and see our Leslie. She'll be demoing these. So I'm using this beautiful, it's called Stars, but it's actually a cross stitch stamp from Nellie Snellen that's on the website as well. I just wanted to show you something, but just basically look how using stamp in the hand. So we're making our own background sheet. So here I've used grey. Here's one I did earlier. Less, you know, less messy. Doesn't matter. I did this on one of the videos, and there's also, here's one I did. It works beautifully if you do it on brown as well. So we'll be using that inside our, on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing all these tricks, and we're going to be doing a scrapbook with them. So it might be worth throwing one of the scrapbooks in if you fancy crafting along. So there's my background, and then I'm just going to take my piece I've done. Karen says, I remember my mum having a sewing machine like that when I was little. So remember, guys, if you comment and I see it, I'll read it out. I'm not selecting them. It's not particular people. It's just as I see comments, I will read them out. And so I'm just going to put that on. And it was the same size. So there we go. But already, I feel like I've been really clever. I know I haven't. But I feel like I've been clever. So I'm just trimming out the card. So now it's a case of pulling in the bits. So pulling in the bits that we've made, the bits that we've cut. So here I've done sewing. I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to bring in some VersaFine in Vintage Sepia to help age those pieces. And I'm going to bring in a finger dauber. So what I've done is here I've got one of the sewing machines, and they were based on the Singer. They were based on the old-fashioned Singer. And just like Emma said, I have my grandmother's Singer sewing machine that turns into a table. That was part of the idea of this. So you can see there, we've got all of that detail in that sewing machine. So we can pop that on. So I'm going to put on, first of all, I've cut both of the mannequins in just brown card again from our Coordinations card collection. And then we're going to do this. And the thing is, what I would say is, I mean, Susan's just said, absolutely love these, but not sure because she hasn't got, you know, enough women who craft to send the cards to. This, to me, is more about the joy of making them and using them than actually having people to send them to. And I know that's maybe my thing, but it's that's one of the things that I absolutely love of making cards like this. So I've just realised I need a card blank for this to go on to. So bear with me because I can't believe I didn't make one. So I'm just cutting that. So I'm just cutting a 6 by 8. And I want to match some of the red on this. So I'm going to take some of the brown. So I've cut some of the brown to balance it to 5 by 7. There we go. Now, the funny thing is, oh, they're actually saying that. Leslie was saying, Nicola said this has been my favourite collection to do samples for. This has been Leslie's favourite as well, and Leslie's just said that same here. Leslie wasn't sure whether she would enjoy this or not, so I'm not going to pretend, and she absolutely loved it. So, you know, it's basically, you know, but it's if you like it, you get it. It's up to you entirely. So here we go, just going to glue that on so that it offsets perfectly. But you can see why I want to do some scrapbook pages with this, because it would work. So here we go. So I've got now my little pieces. So I'm going to use some 3D glue gel, as that's the easiest thing when we've got different levels and different heights to do it on. So I'm just going to pop some of that on the back. So that goes on the back. And then the base, I'm just going to use some glue glaze on there one. There we go. So I'm almost echoing where it's stamped. This one is fine and delicate, so I'm just going to spray glue in, just because it's a little bit easier. But again, you could just use your glue glaze. There we go. Love that. Let's get our sewing machine on. I think they work so well. So I've got a cotton reel here, and what I've done with the cotton reel is I've cut that. It's honestly better to watch the videos, because I go through all of these bits. But again, just in the air, I'm adding a little bit of, oh, get the words out, John. I'm adding a little bit of Inversifine on there. I'm just going to grab some power tape for the back. So I've got a couple here. I've put some already on the back of there. Let's put some on the back of here. So a little bit of tape I find is the easiest way to attach this one. And here we go. A little bit of tape on the back of there. I could demo these for hours. I really, really could. I could spend hours at it. So what I want to put on there is I want a bit of red. So this is where I always go wrong. I'm using, these were cheap. These were literally from a pound shop. And I've got boxes of them I've bought over the years to love them. So I'm just going to take some red out. But sometimes the skein stays neat. And sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, that's when we use the other piece. So just put a bit on, tape it down, and then wrap it round like a cotton reel. And you can use any sort of cotton. I did go and check in Poundland, and they've got a load of cheap cotton and wool as well. Oh, Leslie said, I bought a pack of colours cottons from the cheap shop to actually wrap around the cotton reels. Yeah, exactly the same as I did, Leslie. So there's my red. I'm going to use, I've got a bit of black here that I've got kept as scrap. So I'm going to use some black on it. And you don't have to go mad and put lots on. Just a little bit will work because it's nice when you see the actual cotton reel as well. So let's just take that one off. And I've got some white here. Where have you gone? There you go. Don't you move. Where's my... Oh, there it is, stuck to my finger. Honestly, I'm terrible. So I'm just going to take that, and again, just wrapping it round. Nice and simple. And we'll finish that one off. And then let's use some 3D glue gel, but let's use it in the injector because it's so much easier. So a little bit of colour makes all the difference. So my original one I did in sort of lavender shades, and Sam was like, oh, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, love that. So I'm going to put that white one there. A little bit on the back. We'll put some black on. And I'm going to put that black one there in that packet. I've got here our cut-in silver mirror card. And can you see it pokes all the holes through so the thimble actually looks realistic. So I'm going to put the large one there, and I'm going to put the little one just down there. So we're matching everything together. Then I've got a black button. I've got a white button. I've got a pair of scissors. Now the scissors, I've just cut in mirror card, and then I've cut them again in black. And what I can do is just cut off the base like that, a little bit of glue glaze, and I can make those into a different colour. There we go. So here we go, let's take those. And stick those on. So then I've got black handled scissors. How easy, again, is that? But what I wanted to show you, I'm going to do it in red. So from that, I'm going to take the sewing. And I just want to cut that. So I'm going to run that through and cut that. But I want to use both, or I can use both. The black shiny card I'm using, Andy's just asked, is from, it's an Old Crafts 2 card. I'm not sure we have any in stock anymore, but if you have a look for black shiny gloss card, you can find it, or just use your normal black card. So going to take a piece of tape and put it right over the front and really press it on. Yeah? Turn it onto the back and peel that off. Now that's what we've been using quite a lot. So what I can do is to glue that. Oops. Onto a piece of alternative coloured card. Just like that. And then I can take one of the dies. So I could take the swatch die. And it's just about big enough. The best one to do for this, to be honest, is the panel. Oh, not that panel. Where are we? Yeah. So I'm making, you know what it's like. So I'm just going to trim this off by hand. You do take a die and cut it out, but I didn't get my red piece big enough. But actually, I'm going to go crazy if I've got to cut it by hand, and I'm not the best at cutting things by hand. You might as well go a bit mad. So I've got my little sewing tag to go on, which makes me think, for some reason, of Levi's jeans. I don't know why. Maybe it's the mixture of the colour. But there we go. Yeah, it makes me think of Levi's. But the other thing I've got here is I've got the letters. And so what I can do is put those down. I'll use my scissors to hold them in place. Take my glue glaze and I can just glue the back of my letters. And this is how we put them on when you've got separate letters like this. So really simple. There we go. Press it down, give it a couple of minutes, and just peel your tape off. There we go. So again, something a little perhaps a bit more modern than you'd expect. But I love that with all of those inserts and things on that one. The brown card I'm using, someone's just asked, is from our coordinations, our card packs. So from our brown card packs, I think it's from the Autumn Browns. So, honestly, this, you can tell it's fun because I'm making a mess. And that's not what I normally do. I don't, well, I do when I'm crafting, but I try to be neater when I'm doing it for like this. But let's move these out of the way because I want to show you something else. I want to do something else with it. So which one are we going with? Let's go with that one. So one of the things, again, that the dies can do is they can cut fabric and felt. Yeah, so I wanted to show you that one. Debbie, what shade of yellow is used with the black and yellow cards, please? I don't know. You would need to ask. Black and yellow is the colour combination that our Leslie uses. So you'd need to ask Leslie what colour she uses for that. So I wanted to show you the swatch dies are perfect and they will cut you fabric. And a lot of people are funny about fabric or cutting it. So here I've got a piece. This is 100% cotton. I can't tell you whose it is or where it's from. It's from out my box. Literally, it is from out of my box. And I've got so much fabric, it's crazy. So all I'm going to do is take that largest swatch, put it down, tape it down like I would do with card. And then I'm going to take when I'm cutting fabric, I have to alter my sandwich. So I have to go down with my B-plate. I need a metal shim for fabric to cut down onto, and then a top plate. And we just run that through. And if you can do it at a bit of an angle, it makes it easier to run through. So all I'm going to do is run that one through. Nice and simple. Oh, sorry, I left it on my face. Thank you, Emma. I'll do another one. Don't worry. There you've got. Look, it's cut. Perfect. It's even got the stitch detail in it, but I'll do it again. So here is my cotton. It's a decent cotton. I don't know where it's from. I buy a lot of material. I'm very, very much, because I do sew, and I haven't sewn for years, not since I made blinds for this house. There we go. So what we do is we have to alter our sandwich. So we go down with our dye onto our fabric like we would do normally, and then base plate. Yeah? Then metal shim. Then our fabric tilted if possible, so that we're not going to hit the sleeping policeman. Top plate on, and we run it through. Nice and simple. Just like that, bring it back. And we will have, Kirsty's just said, have you any different inserts coming soon? We've got more ideas for inserts that everyone suggested that we will be drawing for next year. It is tumbling down to the end of the year now, to Christmas. So there are no more inserts on order at the minute. You know that this took 6 months to get them. Susan, oh, I can ask my niece for scraps of fabric to use. That's a great idea, because she's the seamstress and wedding dressmaker. Brilliant idea. So you can see there, look. We've got the perfect, I'll show you on white, look. Perfect swatch of fabric cut. So brilliant for doing that. So here's one I've done in felt. So just to show you. So, and I'm using our Craft Artist glue, is absolutely perfect for felt, for fabric. You don't need to have a special fabric glue. So I'm just gluing that. I mean, to be fair, I would have this set regardless, even if I wasn't going to do anything with sort of sewing and haberdashery. The individual set, this one, is so useful because of the squares and the pieces you've got in there and the cotton reels. So, yeah, we're working on something, Michael. We are working on something. So there I've got my pieces, and then this is made with a scrap. So what I've done is, and I will literally, I don't have the scrap to show you. I've just punched the holes in using the punch-in die. But I thought, oh, doesn't that work? It's almost like having a mood board. You could do this. You could do this as a sort of mood board for weddings, parties, for your home decor and things like that. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to use this. So I've got a lot of this that's wasted. So I'm just going to take a big strip off. So I'm going to take a big piece off, and then all I'm going to do is just simply double it. Double it again. And double it again, and go through, because the hole's designed so that it keeps your threads perfect, but it makes a really beautiful piece for a card. So I'm just going to pull those bits through. There we go. And you can see there how well that works. Now, because this is a card and I want it nice and, you know, neat, I'm going to cut them up and keep it neat. But obviously if you're using it to keep things and store things, or store your thread, you don't want to do that. You want to leave them at the length it is. But I just thought that just really works in terms of pieces for that card. So again, a little bit of foam tape on the back perhaps, when I find where I've put it away. So I've not used any of that so far. So you can use your fabric scraps, you know, just remember your metal shim trick. The idea is the dies are really good quality, and I know that's what I'm going to say as a dye designer, but they genuinely are. But you can see there how well that works. There is our funky foam cut piece of the mannequin. But again, how well does that work? So again, a little bit of sewing, a little bit of spray glue on the back for speed. Let's put that on. And this time I've actually cut the sewing out from a piece of brown. Yeah, and I want behind that perhaps a piece of felt. So let's glue that onto a little bit of felt. Yeah, on Nicola's sample, so have a look at the video at the end. She's used the tartan that she got, which is brilliant. Susan, are you taking a break from lives over Christmas, please? We've not made the decision yet. I will be doing, but we don't know what dates. We haven't worked that one out yet. I'm hoping Peter, Jane and I can go through that next week. But we haven't decided on that one yet. So you can oh, I like that there actually. So again, using a piece of fabric, using a piece of felt, using whatever you need to do. So I'm just going to go. And again, you can use, so here I've done a little swatch card. So I've done the little swatch card because I wanted to show you how to cut that, but I might do that on the next project. If I can fit it in, I will do one for you. So let's just clip that on. There we go. And then, where's the previous? I've got a little pair of scissors and a couple of the little needles, which just make a difference. So I'm going to tuck the scissors in. Look how much difference that makes. And then I'm going to tuck one of the needles in. And they look like, and they're only made of card, but they look like proper needles and proper pins. I want a little bit of glue glaze on that, don't I? So these are literally just cut with the dies, so tiny. As if it's pinning that felt on. But there we go. Made using fabric. Made using the dies and fabric and, you know, leftover bits of embroidery thread or whatever you've got left. But just beautiful. I think they're just so clever, these pieces. They really are. I've got, and yeah, so much more prep. So remember, join me at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. So I've got midweek deals on at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. Some fabulous pieces on there. Join me on that. At 7 o'clock, we're going to be going through the haberdashery dies and we're going to be making a scrapbook with them. So we'll be making a few more stamps and working really well with them. But I wanted to show you, I've got so many more pieces to do. The little tag, and the swatches, and I thought this was really, really a clever way to do it. So in your swatches, you've got this piece. And you've got the little circle. And what I'm going to do is take a piece of tape, pick it up, and hold it in the middle of there, and then just cut that. This was going to have, I've stamped the background already with that beautiful Nellie Snellen stamp. So remember, you can get that on the website as well. But that's the perfect thing to sample, to put your colours onto for anything like that. And again, all I'm going to do is take some VersaFine in Vintage Sepia and mucky up the edges so it looks that little bit more vintage. But remember, you could do this with all your colours of embroidery floss. Put them on a ring. So put them on, like I do my card samples, put them on a ring like that, and you know what colours of embroidery floss you've got. Yeah, something very different. So again, I'm going to put a little bit of power tape at the back. Obviously, if I wanted to use these for more, I wouldn't. I would just put a little bit of sticky tape at the back and stick it down. So let's just grab, there we go. Take that off. And this time what I'm going to use is some ribbon. So this is some of my 3mm ribbon. And I'm just going to put that round. And there we go. But it's a good way, again, to keep and save your ribbon. What you're supposed to do it properly, John. Do it neatly. Just like that. So it's flat. But it's a great way to, again, keep and store your ribbon. You can put a lot on these cards, a lot more than you think. And even if, say, if you want to sell your ribbon, this is actually a metre. So what I've put on here is a whole metre of ribbon. So that's a whole metre of ribbon held. And again, we will do this on. But I was using the waist piece. See, far too many demos ready. So using the waist piece just to put a little shadow on. We're going to put him on. We were going to have a couple of little swatches. The little ribbon card we've just made. The little fabric one. We've just done the thread counts. I'd even got some scissors ready. But I will use all of these bits. I'll use all of these bits on Wednesday night at 7 on Craft Cave Live. Sarah Jane says, I'm being persuaded, especially if you're doing a scrapbook on Wednesday with the craft card books. That's what I thought. I thought they would work so well together. So on Wednesday, we'll be making this booklet up with a load of these pieces, and I can just see it working so well. I'm not going to pre-do one. We're going to almost do a craft along with it, and we're going to do a few pages on the cover and the front and the back. So that's what we're doing on Wednesday. So that's if you can join me at Wednesday at 6. So to run through everything tonight, you can get the brand new exciting haberdashery bundle at $32.36, which is 10% off. And that is 10% discount and free P&P, remember, because it's over £20. But if you want, you can get them individually. So you can get the haberdashery sewing at $9.99, which has those beautiful mannequins and the scissors in there and the sewing words. You can get the haberdashery swatches, really useful. And I think that, that's just going to stay as a decorative piece. That's literally going to stay as a decorative piece. But I'm going to make some of these, and I'm going to keep, this is how I'm keeping my embroidery floss from now on, just so it's prettier to look at. Than like that and getting messy. It's so much better like that. So you can get that one if you want to. You can also get hold of the pins and things at $7.99. So we've priced these at the best prices we can do. So instead of making each set $9.99, because they're a little bit smaller, these are cheaper. So we've done those ones at the best price. You can get the crochet and wool and knit at $7.99 as well. And as a special offer tonight, you can get that beautiful postage frame at $9.99, which is basically a 5x7 die. So thank you everyone for watching and joining in. Hopefully I will see a lot of you on Wednesday night at 6 for midweek deals. Or if not, at 7 o'clock for Craft Cave Live, when we'll be doing the scrapbook with all of the haberdashery dies and things like that. And I've also got a few little Christmas videos I'm going to be trying to film in the next couple of weeks. So you've got a few Christmas decoration ideas. I've got stuff piled up everywhere. So that should be fun. But thank you for joining me tonight, guys. I'm going to leave you with the video of the actual samples because made by the girls. So thank you to Nicola, Samantha, Carol and Leslie. They're absolutely beautiful. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon.